whenever you have an organization that's highly prestigious, there's always going to be people who want to do that. And when you have an endless pipeline, if you're NVIDIA right now, if you're OpenAI right now, if you're Google 10 years ago, if you're Apple probably any time in the last 20 years, people want to join these companies. There's an endless stream of people who want to come in. And whenever you have that, you have to worry about taking it for granted in a way that those people coming in just get work too hard, dogged out. I mean, I'll use the word abused loosely, but it's an example of a quirk where sometimes in organizations that are highly prestigious and highly alluring, you actually get some of the worst behavior inside, because no matter what you do, people still want to be there.
Yeah, so I think my example of that in my history is when I was a blackjack dealer on a boat, and there was a line out the door.
To be dealers.
Everybody wanted it because, like, it was cash. It was huge money for,
Yeah.
All you had to do was be able to count to 21 and huge money.
Don't you have to be able to shuffle those cards and all that kind of business?
Yeah, they teach you all that. That's not hard.
Huh.
I mean, it was a little bit of challenging because it was on a boat, but, it's all teachable. And so there was a line of people, and because of it, like, they knew and they made you know that they could replace you at any time.
Snap that finger.
So, like, speaking of, like, the shuffling of the cards, like, they would come over and we'd have to shuffle 6 decks in 30 seconds, and they'd come over with a timer. And based on how we were doing, they would say lovely things like, "Do you want fries with that?" Which was an indication that you weren't shuffling fast enough and that your job was in jeopardy. And so,
it's
just
actually
like
pretty good.
Yeah. So, there are degrading ways that they act because they knew that there was a line out the door of people who wanted the job.
Yeah.
But also, like, there was a line out the door of people who wanted their job.
Oh, the managers.
You're right. And so
yeah,
that's really what is happening, that underlying mechanism, I think, that is setting up for toxicity with these high status organizations. And not all of them, obviously, but some of them.
Yeah.
Basically, nobody feels stable in their membership.
Yeah.
And so because of that, you get a whole host of behaviors that wind up creating an organization that's toxic because they knew that they could treat you that way and it really didn't matter. Like you almost don't exist as a human being.
You're one of many.
But it has ramifications also for, like, executive teams and conversations because everybody is afraid of getting knocked out of the room.
Yeah.
And so you get conversations where people they're too worried on harmony and agreement, and nobody is actually saying the things that need to be said.
A lot of times that doesn't happen at struggling companies because they can't. You got to actually take care of everybody. If your company's struggling, you need your people and you need the best out of your people. And so there's an actual incentive to treat people well. And
you're kind of, to some degree, stuck with your people.
Yeah.
Which, that's good and bad. I mean, like, you will get people who will take advantage of it, but it's not an organizational symptom. It's an individual who's taking advantage of it. But, like, basically we're also in a lot of organizations who are in rural areas and need professionals, and you have who you have. And so it's almost like
gotta be good
closed. It's almost like a closed group. You have to figure out, like, on the one hand, you don't have options for that professional role, but on the other hand, they don't have options for that professional role either. Yeah. So, like, you're both in it, and you got to figure out how to make that relationship work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reminded of many years ago. I mean, it's been probably 10 years now, but was it Amazon or Netflix ran through a period of time where, like, they were front page of the Wall Street Journal for, like, is this the worst place to work in America? And the same kind of thing.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was Amazon. But it's basically like, cutthroat, everything we're talking about. Cutthroat, you get fired quickly, your managers are always wearing you out about stuff. And So what? We're Amazon.
And so as a result, like, it's toxic on a whole bunch of different levels. In these organizations at the top, they are also worried about their jobs. And so if something is going to land on them that makes them look negative and make that position unstable, they tend to roll it downhill onto somebody else. And so you're getting sort of, you're not getting any support. Like the general philosophy that we're not screwed up, they're screwed up. And that's them shedding some of the responsibility that probably should have landed on them as leaders.
Yeah.
But because they're worried about their position, they just throw it on down.
Yeah.
And then at the lower end, the non-leader end, you have people who feel like, and probably even rightly feel like, they're not getting treated fairly.
Right.
They're going to work that system to get whatever they can out of it. And possibly, but not always, possibly may do things that are not exactly ethical and or legal to sort of balance the scale.
Yeah.
At a minimum, they're going to leverage that system to milk it for everything that they can get out of it.
Yeah, and it's definitely not going to do the pro-social behaviors.
Right.
Yeah, the things like staying late, offering to help, showing up Saturday for a fun run, that kind of stuff.
Right. And so, like, if you're a manager and you're like, you're getting angry at your people because they're not willing to do extras, maybe look around and think about whether or not, like, you've got a toxicity that's happening from status.
That's why we wanted to talk about this, is that it's a little bit counterintuitive that one of the distortions that status sometimes confers is the ability to really be jerks, because you're going to have an unending pipeline almost no matter what you do. And then the flip side of that is that in a lot of places that don't have the status, they're actually some of the nicest places we've ever been. A couple other ways that organizations can be toxic. One way is the leader's a jerk. I'm thinking about Uber early on, frat boy culture, and it's small enough in the beginning to where the culture took hold. And then as they got bigger and needed to professionalize, it spilled over into enough incidents where the board had to let him go. And then a big investigation, and then the word toxic gets thrown around.
Yeah, you can have a founder, because I think it's usually a founder in that case, that, they're doing something different and trendy, and yet, like, people perceive it as awesome. Like, that saying that power corrupts isn't really accurate. It's that power reveals. And I find that to be very true. And so, like, in these setups with high status organizations and founders, the resources are coming to them. They don't have to self-monitor. Yeah. And as a result, you see who they really are. And I don't know, obviously, the founder of Uber.
Yeah, but neither do I.
But I suspect,
it was in the headlines.
Yeah, right. But I suspect, based on the headlines, that that's who he really is. Because he's the head of an organization that was very trendy, very hot. Everybody wanted to invest. All the resources were there. Yeah. And that's what power is. Power is control over resources. And when you have power over resources, you do not have to self-monitor. And so you see who the person actually is.
Yeah, I would say in our experience, we see people with power who are as nice as they could be.
Yes, I think we're thinking of the same person as we say that. There's one person who's in charge of an organization that has hundreds of member organizations. So we're talking thousands of people. Yeah. And he is the nicest person, and all he wants to do with his power is help other people. Yeah. And you get that. Yeah. And that's who he is. Yeah. And then you get people who they have a similar setup. They have all the resources they need. Yeah. They don't have to actually influence people. They can just do. Yeah. And they're not nice people.